Hi everyone, Joe Gentili from Saraf Gentili LLP. And so in this video, we're going to talk about what to do if you have a delay in your naturalization process. So the naturalization process can be broken up into a few parts. So you file your N-400, and then the next step is that you have an interview, a naturalization interview, and then a decision. And then if the decision is a denial, you may file an N-336 to kind of go through the appeals process on that. So if you have a delay that happens post-interview, let's say you do your application, you get your interview, you're waiting more than 120 days after the interview happens, you could file a lawsuit, what's known as a 1447B lawsuit. And so that is a lawsuit that you'd file it in the federal court for the area where you live. So for instance, if you lived in New York City and Manhattan, you'd file the case in the Southern District of New York, because that's the federal district that covers Manhattan. And those lawsuits are very strong because there's a strict deadline that the government has that they have to decide your case by. It's 120 days. And if that doesn't happen, then the judge has the exclusive ability at that point to decide your case. If USCIS delays more than 120 days and you sue them, the statute basically takes the case away from USCIS and puts it in the judge's hands. At that point, the judge can decide your case. If he or she wants, just on decide the merits, say you're naturalized, or they deny you, and they don't have to give any deference to USCIS's opinion when they do that. Or they could send the case back to USCIS, but with instructions. They could say that we're sending it back to you, but you have to have a decision within the next 30 days, or something along those lines. If your delay has to do with any other part of the waiting process, so let's say you file your N-400 but you haven't had an interview yet, or you filed an N-336 because you had a denial before and it's taking a long time to get a decision on that. If the delay is at one of those other points in the process, then you're not filing a 1447B case, you're filing a mandamus lawsuit. Another powerful tool used to get your case moving. Probably the biggest distinction between the mandamus lawsuit and a 1447B is that if you file a mandamus lawsuit, the judge is not going to decide your case on the merits. Mandamus lawsuits only deal with the timing of decisions. They don't deal with the outcomes. So with the 1447B, a judge can decide the outcome of the case, but with a mandamus, a judge can only determine the timing. They can only say, USCIS, you owe these people a decision or an action. Those are that's probably the biggest distinction. So wherever you are in the process with naturalization, if you run into this unreasonable delay, you have a litigation solution that could address it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as always, if this video was helpful, I encourage you to subscribe for future ones. Thanks.